Okay, now we're on to cumulative frequency distributions. I took the liberty of bringing over the frequency distribution and the relative frequency distribution from before. Cumulative distributions. What we're talking about here is, by definition, cumulative show the total number of observations in each class plus all lower ranked classes. So again, it's going to show us the total number of observations in each class plus all lower ranked classes. So visually for this, we're going to have to flip this. And being that it's lower ranked, each class and lower ranked classes, this, going back last week to our levels of measurement, this is going to be ordinal or higher. So this doesn't apply to nominal. You're not going to typically do cumulative with nominal. I mean, you can, but who cares? It really means nothing. So again, with the cumulative, since it's going from each class and all lower ranked classes, we're going to flip the classes here. In the other videos we had, 1 was on top, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. For visual sake and for keeping it straight by definition, we're going to put the highest ranked class, which in this case is 7. We put that on top, and we move 1 here. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The frequencies are still the same, right? This just simply tells us how many in each class. And the relative frequency, that's still the same. I simply flip those with it. So, and again, for calculating that from the last videos, you remember, that's going to be the frequency in each class divided by the total frequency. So for the class of 7, frequency of 1 would be 1 divided by 15. For class of 4, frequency of 6, 6 divided by 15, and so on. So now let's do the cumulative. So we'll put that over here, cumulative, which again, it shows the number of observations in each class plus all lower ranked classes. So I'm just going to indicate cumulative in this column with CF. So that will stand for cumulative frequency. And then we'll start at the bottom. So we're showing each class and all lower ranked classes. Now in a class of 1, we have a frequency of 2. There are no lower ranked classes. So that's the bottom of it. So that's a 2. So what's the frequency in 1 or fewer, or classes below 1? 2. Now in the class of 2, we have a frequency of 3. The cumulative frequency will be taking this class and all lower ranked classes, which would just simply be the 1 class over here. We add those together, which would give us a cumulative frequency of 5. For the class of 3, with a frequency of 2, well, 2 plus all lower ranked classes, which we already know is a 5, that would give us a cumulative frequency of 7. Then with the class of 4, with a frequency of 6, and for cumulative frequency, all lower ranked classes get added to that, which would be 7, we have a cumulative frequency of 13. So the cumulative frequency for the class of 4 is 13, right? Because it tells us all of the members of this class plus all the lower ranked classes. So for the class of 5, with a frequency of 1, the cumulative frequency, well, we have a frequency of 1 here, and everything below is a 13, so that would be a cumulative frequency of 14. For the class of 6, we have a frequency of 0. Now, we don't want to skip 6. You notice that we've left 6 in all of those, even though there's a frequency of 0. And this is part of the reason why. We have a class of 6, but that is an empty set. But with all lower ranked, the 0 plus the 14 would still give us a cumulative frequency of 14 for the class of 6. Because remember, it's in this class, and all the lower ranked classes. Then we get to the class of 7, right? Class of 7 here with a frequency of 1 plus the lower ranked classes, which would give us a cumulative frequency of 15. Now we don't total this out, right? So you're not going to add all these up and put a total here. So there's no total needed for this section over here. The top of the cumulative frequency distribution here, this number here, should equal and will equal the total of the frequency itself. Those two numbers should be the same, which is also coincidentally Rn. So that's cumulative frequency distribution. Again, by definition, it shows the number of observations in each class plus all lower ranked classes.